So ways in which there are some photographers that you can just get a guy that can take photos or something, and nobody is going to take me a nice picture. But then certain people, they'll call you and say, now let's start taking the picture. In fact, by the time you share it, the item is sold out.
You now put your name on that.
Do you know what I mean?
Is this person that?
Exactly. Your name is sold out. That's just based on your value. So you come in both as a photographer, but as somebody with added value as well to the product.
All right, thank you so much, guys. I have one last question on pricing before other questions that we have, but this is so beautiful. Thank you so much. So I'm curious about things are a little tough right now, and we need to be tough. So as creators, should anything change about how we think about setting our rates, how we think about our prices in a time like this, or is it business as usual? What does that look like?
You know, I mean, being a creative is a very volatile business in general. And that's why I was very honest in the first question that you asked me and said, sometimes you give discount because you're broke. It's the truth. It's like we can all act like we're so valued, you know, we're so important, and this is how much I charge the end. And there are times you're going to, you know, charge a fraction of what you normally charge because you need the money in that moment in time, because you haven't had any gigs for 2 months, or you haven't had any job for 2 months, and they are owing you from 2 years ago. You know, that kind of thing. So those things, that life is very real, and I like to be very honest and practical about that. What I do think is that we have to decide, and you can only decide this for yourself, that there is a baseline you cannot go beneath in terms of your pricing. So even if hunger they catch me, bad as bad, I cannot collect less than blah blah blah. I think that's important. For your, again, this might not sound like a business-related decision, but I think even for your own personal sense of self-worth. Because these are the things that allow us to keep going and see that, okay, we're running a viable freelance business, or we're running a viable creative business. Because when you're just taking anything because times are hard and things are hard, this is where people quit and say, there's no point, I'm not making anything out of it, I can't live off of this, right? Because you can't quantify anything, you can't incrementally increase, you don't have any parameters that you're using to check and own personal growth. So I think one of the things I would say is that however hard times are, difficult things are, have a benchmark that you don't beneath. And I think this is where you come in, where you talk about, people talk about rates amongst themselves. I think it's so important. People are transparent about figures. I'm so transparent about figures all the time. And people are like, so you're okay? I'm like, at the end of the day, it's our work. You know what I mean? So I think once there's a central idea of how much this thing is generally worth in the market, or what the market value of it is, okay, what is the least I can take? So that it doesn't devalue me or devalue the work in itself.
Gotcha. All right, thank you very much. All right, Lex.
I'll try to keep my brief because I've taken too much time already. I think that it's important to, yes, be cognizant of what is going on and be kind. At the same time, also still manage your worth. So something that I do, and that I think even if it's not just a short-term thing, it's a long-term thing, is that I mentor people. And what that mentorship can look like might also include giving them work that I can't. So the bottom line of some brands is also, some individuals is, okay, I love you, but we can't afford you, so what do we do? I say, okay, I have people I mentor, let them create that under my supervision. It's cheaper.
Watching what they do.
Exactly. It's cheaper, it's more, and you don't have to leave. Well, you're still working with, you're just not getting me specifically. So that does two things. You are, of course, empowering the next generation, and you are also creating services that other people can buy into. The second thing is also find another thing that can be giving you more.
Diversify your income.
That's right. So, for example, as a photographer, another thing, one thing that you can do is sell prints. So one thing you can do is contribute to stock sites that can be bringing you small income. Create presets, sell them. Create tutorials, sell them. Not take note of situations that happen and also be, know what works for you, like she said, and even if you're giving a discount, make sure that you are showing that it's a discount, so they know that when they come back, you know, they're still.
That's not your real rates. Yeah, thank you so much. That was actually amazing. Guys, please, you can ask questions of our guests. If you have any questions, please reach out to any of the fellows or any of the people wearing the paystack shirts. And we have a question already. Sure, why not? All right.
Hello everyone, I'm Paulina.
Hi, Paulina.
I'm a content creator, but I also support on my name. So when you started, you had a certain class of clientele, and you improved with time. Has there ever been a time that you had to let go of some?
People just have the budget they have. Sometimes they're trying to get the best because that's the person's job. That person in marketing is their job to go and get the best deal. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's important to not take it personally as an indictment on your value or an indictment on your skill sets. I mean, anyway, if you want to keep working with those people, then you find a way that makes it work for you. And if it doesn't work for you, you say, look, you can burn the bridges if you want. Me, I'm a fan of burning bridges and burn everything down. You want to burn it down. You don't want to burn it. You know, it's like, okay, look, there's another person who is amazing. Let me recommend, and this person will treat you, you know. And you know, you need to be okay with moving on from that because you might never come back to that work to work with that person again, right? So, and you need to be okay with that. So I think there are just many roads to deal with it. But I think there's always room for negotiation. And you can decide what you want. If somebody wants 10 things, like, look, I can only give you 2 for this money you're calling, or I can only give you 1. But you also know that one thing you're giving them is already enormous value anyway. So they might not even need the rest of the 10 things they're asking for.
And I just wanted to add something. You need to also transition the people that if it's, especially when it's a recurring client or something, right? You need to transition them to your new price. If you are increasing your prices and you know they're going to come because you've been doing work with them over time, you don't wait for them to come before you tell them that, hey, my prices are increasing. You go out to them, you meet them and say, hey, so due to XYZ, I'm increasing my rates. I just wanted you to know ahead of time. So when you're coming for the next one, make sure your budget fits. Or if it does not fit, we can try this for the first one or the second one as well, and then for the next ones following that, we can go to that. It makes it easier for them and for you, and also shows them that you value them as your customers, and you are not just looking to throw them away. But then if it comes to a point, like she said, where it's like you can't even work, then be comfortable passing them on to other people or you burning.
Some people are just rude.
That bridge.
All right, thank you very much. Can I see show of hands, please? How many questions do we have? Just the one. All right, we can take that one then. All right, sir.
Good afternoon. Victor Anyanwu, I'm a content creator. How do you protect your content?
Protect your content.
Yes.
Fantastic.
How do I make sure some spiritual person somewhere doesn't just how do I do that?
How?
Can you rephrase the question in terms of the protection?
Every type of protection, even if it's spiritual, let's know.
I believe we should speak to the Lord in prayer. Because
Let's be a bit more concrete. We're in the physical realm here.
yeah, but if it's, I'm assuming it's things like licensing, rights management. Yeah, that's an entire conversation that if we had an hour, discuss maybe like 2% of it.
Let me just.
Yeah, so he's just going to give us small. Once again, in the episode, he goes in. Yeah, but yeah.
So the first of all, social media has reduced the amount of protection you can give. Let's just understand and establish that. Social media has reduced the amount of protection you have. There is a guy who was, you take a picture, right? You post on Instagram. There's a guy who was taking a screenshot of that picture you have posted on Instagram with your name, your handle, and printed it and used it for an exhibition. And they went to court and he won. Because in that place, it was considered a new piece of art. The only way to protect in my opinion, you don't share, but you cannot not share. That's the ultimate protection. You have it and you keep it. And if you do exhibition, nobody can use picture or your phone to take picture, which you cannot really do. So I don't want to say is inshallah and vibes, but at the same time, be conscious of the fact, okay, so if it is about protecting your stuff in a legal perspective, you make sure that all like copyright protected, all the artwork here or whatever content here is copyright protected. Then first of all, also too, what they call that? Trademark your stuff, copyright your stuff, make sure that it's registered. So if somebody, one guy took my picture, I'm going to paint it and he's selling it for thousands of dollars somewhere. I said, he doesn't have any email on mine.
How did you find out?
How did I find out? Somebody sent it to me. And then I didn't, he does not have any email, so I could not email him directly. I could not save him. My lawyers, so what can I do? But at the same time, what you can do to protect it is just make sure that you write your own copyright thing there, because that's what Instagram recognizes. Instagram does not recognize that the fact it's on your page. As you are sharing it, it's entering their drive in their own. You understand what I mean? So other stuff that you cannot share there, make sure that you maybe exhibit it or you find other ways or means to share it. Social media has just kind of reduced that barrier. You want to ask something?
Yeah, so like each photograph you
Okay. Now, let's say you have, how many photographs do you have? So can you do the copyright thing you're talking about? Can you do
Snap it. I sold this one at that exhibition. Yes. That's it. I just share what I feel like I can share, and the ones that I cannot share, I will not share.
So I think that, I mean, yeah, I do agree that there's some work that's collateral damage when you share it. But I also think that we need to start getting into, I know that we can't all afford one, but we need to start getting into the habit of getting a lawyer or getting, you know, I know that there are small and startup law firms that where you can, for creatives, you can pay a minimal amount in terms of retainerships, and they do a lot of like documenting work for you in terms of your copyrights, your patenting, all that sort of stuff. And anytime you see anything, your lawyer will just send them a letter. You know, like I know that even there are people that jack lines from poems. You know, the people that take our poetry videos, and they will do. And once we just say a lawyer is sending you a letter, they will take it down. So I think even that is another. It's not just about going to track somebody on social media, but actually finding the right source of recourse. So if you can afford it, we have plenty of lawyers there. Your friends can even be a lawyer and can do what it is they can do for you, and you pay them a certain amount of money. Sometimes there are organizations who take smaller retainers from artists. You and your friend can come together and hire one lawyer to be almost like as a collective, and you put money together in a certain pot, and that person does all your documenting work, creates templates for you for clients. So when you have any business for clients, you just send them whatever your template agreement is that they need to sign as well. And so all of these things can just I remember once having it was an inquiry, and then I didn't even send an agreement. I just wrote in there that, oh, I keep the rights to my work, so it cannot be reproduced, republished, or anything, you know. And in that moment, the person now said, oh, so what if we want to use it in the blah 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 multiverse? That's what they said. And I said it will be up for renegotiation.
Exactly.
And depending on the work. So the fact that I even just stated my rights there as a caveat already lets them know that whatever we're negotiating right now, it is literally for one-time use and performance of this work only. So I think even those things let you feel in control and let your clients understand the agreements of the use of your work, right? And if there are people that are trying to steal your work, you know, your lawyer will send it. It's like no letter, but you just people will start removing things, or you know. So I think we need to start getting. It's part of taking our work seriously. That it's a business. It's not just we are not just workers for hire. That it's a business. It's your intellectual property, and you must take it seriously. So if part of that investment means saving up some money on one side, getting some of your guys together and saying, oh look, we're all content creators. I know this guy, this person who be intellectual property lawyer. How we go run now? So if his own job is that you people are paid him for the year, and he's going to produce templates, he's going, any legal, he will be firing letter on behalf of everybody.
And you can add that to your calls.
Exactly.
Also, I think it's important to mention at this point that if you're going to be engaging any clients or any client is going to engage you, it is absolutely important to have a contract with them. Yeah, you cannot have, before any money exchange is handled or whatever, before any work gets to them, make sure you have a client. All of the discussions that you've had, all of the conversations, everything should be clearly stated in that contract so that if anything happens, if anything solves, as they say on the streets, you have something. Yeah,
I have to say that I think we're always scared as well because we feel like once we start stating certain things in an email or agreement, it's like you'll say, this person gets too much wahala, I beg. I know one guy wants to do this thing sharp. And don't let any of that scare you.
I also want to say that an email can be considered a contract because there are a few things that a contract must have: offer, agreement, what's the name of that word?
Offer acceptance.
You understand the offer, acceptance, engagement, when they also do, when they pay for it as well. Those are things that solidify a contract. So if you send an email and you have an agreement, a conversation that you can go back to, and that's why emails are the best for conversations like this, more than WhatsApp, because they can delete in WhatsApp, they can delete in Instagram too, and but what email forever and ever is this.
gotcha. All right, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Question.
Okay, so I have a question. The thing is, there was a time when I had a problem like this, and I tried sending an email.
Can you give like a bit more information about the kind of problem you had?
Okay, one of my contents, like, it is very good. So let me just state the problems I had regarding his question and how he answered. So I sent an email, and then it bounced back, and then I tried following up, got the address of the person, tried sending the letter to the person via my lawyer. The person refused to collect it and said that we have to send it to his lawyer. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. We got the address. Yeah, me and my lawyer, we tried to find out how to do that, and then we sent it to his lawyer, and the email bounced back and didn't go. So we're like, okay, how are we going to do this? We got the address of his lawyer, so we sent a dispatch. While the dispatch was there, the lawyer refused to collect the letter. And then he said, my client said I shouldn't collect this letter. I could just upcoming creative, you don't have the...
I have an answer.
So another question again is, you referenced the podcast, or I don't know,
Yeah.
where he said something, I don't know.
Artwork.
Artwork is a video show. I'll talk about it after you answer your question.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the answer to that, unfortunately, there's little to nothing you can do. I'll say this. It's because of the country that we live in. There's almost there's no punishment for crimes. Stuff like US, you just go and arrest the person. Simple. But we cannot go and, if we're going to get the police now, they beg to first pay for transport.
Now, so
Pay for
mobilization.
that statement. Pay for
Five.
And then they will now, that person will get money, they will go back. A place where that cannot work, that unfortunately is where, and actually because it is supposed to be fortunate, but go to social media, that's something that's going to affect their brand and how people see them. If it is somebody that has, that they value the way they look online, poking their online image might be the only. If you have people, friends, go under their comment and be saying, sorry, do not do this thing. It's not your work. And is this not this person's work? So people will now start going to your page. You now use that one as your leverage them to use controversy to bring attention to you and your work.
Wisdom.
That's right.
I will answer. I really like what, I think both of you have said something, and I saw things across what you put there, which is, as creators, we need to find or create collectives. We need to create communities amongst ourselves. Because only you shouting on the internet is, if your tree falls,
Business to be created to encourage other creators of Web3 in their business.
Personally, I have created tools and I have used MetaMask and my wallet. blockchain and stuff, right? And I think Web3 is kind of the biggest right now. Get your work out there even more because there are already communities you can be a part of, right? I haven't done anything specifically to encourage other people to join to use Web3, but I'm going off of this conversation right now. My next plan is entering my 2023 schedule. Yes.
So I haven't, but I'm learning a lot about it, and I think I've been reading and learning a lot about how you can build communities that actually through Web2 and NFTs. So how it's kind of just beyond like tokens, but also giving people access into getting into communities or creating communities as well. So that's of interest to me because I think I'm always interested in how the work can go beyond and go further as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Just throwing it back to you.
Okay.
You can create opportunities for creators to learn about blockchain and Web3, and we will come for your own masterclass too. Awesome. Please let us,
Yeah. So I think people can have conversations with him if you want to learn how to create communities on the blockchain or using. We should all have absolutely yes. What they said. But yeah, we can't take any more questions unfortunately. We have a final. No, I don't have a. I want to ask. It will be a very quick question, and they will answer very quickly. Yes. All right. So the final question is: what is one thing that each one of you very quickly wish you knew when you started out as a creator? What's the one thing that you wish you knew? That
Consistency is key, and to always get better.
all right. Also,
The more better you get. I always say it everywhere. Consistency is the key.
all right, Wana.
I mean, I feel like he's answered it all, but I would say is putting a value to whatever it is you're doing. A lot of the time, when we start off, we feel, especially as creative Nigerians, because creativity has always been seen as this hobby or this thing that you play around with, right? And so as a result, even when we're not earning from it, we don't see its value. And I think it's important to see its value from the very, very beginning. It's something I wish that there are many parts that I did, and later on I see how it could have grown bigger if I valued it, but I just saw them as like quick experiments that I was doing. So whatever it is, however little it is, and minimal, I think put a value on it. There's always possibilities.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you very much, Lexash. Thank you so much, Wana. It was an absolutely amazing show. Please put your hands together for them. Thank you so much. All right. This session was brought to you by Paystack. Paystack powers payments and growth for some of the most amazing businesses in Africa. If you want to, you can register your business or you can register on Paystack at paystack.com. /AfricaNXT. Yes, AfricaNXT. And also, you can check out the artwork show that I told you about, where you have so many answers to lots of the questions that you've asked in here. It's on YouTube, or you can also go to the artwork website at paystack.com /artwork, and you can find all those things here. All right.
Sorry, can we give a big round of applause for being such an incredible moderator?
Thank you very much. All right. Well, that's my time before we are kicked off of stage. So thank you very much and have a great rest of your day. All right. Group photo? Okay.
All right.